Have you ever been a plucky yet hardy member of a sometimes long forgotten race of people in a place called Middle Earth, a world called Middle Earth? And while being a person like that, have you ever been given a piece of jewelry that your task was to go and destroy many hundreds and thousands of miles away from your safe home? And taking that quest, have you ever made some of the best friends that you would ever make and gone through some of the worst perils that you will ever face? If so, you might be Frodo Big Baggins from the Fellowship of the Ring. I finished it. I finished the Fellowship of the Ring. I did listen to it via audiobook. Shout out to Andy Serkis for doing an amazing job in the recording of this, movie that I think made him famous for being Gollum. But finished Fellowship of the Ring, and may I say, 5 stars, easy. Knew it would be, but an easy 5 stars. I have told you before, I am not a fantasy girly, but I understand, but I've always loved Lord of the Rings. I love fantasy in that I like fantasy video games. I love Lord of the Rings. I like Dungeons and Dragons, but fantasy books have not really pleased me so much. But having read this book now, or experienced this book now, the first of the trilogy, I completely understand why the whole fantasy genre stands on the shoulders of this giant. J.R.R. Tolkien changed the world with the string of words he put together called Fellowship of the Ring. Book is so good. The relationships that you see build between these characters are so good. I have seen before reading these books complaints of how wordy the book is. I do not feel that way at all. Maybe I would have felt that way had I read it with my eyeballs. But I feel like it is very digestible. It's probably a quarter of the length of your modern fantasy novel at this point, so there's that. But all the characters are so lovable. There is a wonderful mixture of peril, but also just delightful storytelling. A lot of times, the way the world is, like our lives are not only peril, our lives are not only joy. And even in the midst of the darkest of times, there's a lot of times some levity. And that's the case in this book. I think Aragorn, one real point is that Aragorn, for me, Strider, is way more deep. Oh, just a character with a lot more depth in the books, this book that I've read. Very good. Really enjoy getting to get inside his mind to hear more from him, to see kind of what makes him tick a little bit more than you do in the movies. But I can't gush about the book enough. I love it. Again, 5 stars. Yada yada yada.